Hey, what's up, guys? Joker here. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different away from the norm of the channel, where we're mostly discussing GPU news and CPUs and benchmarks and all that stuff, and just talk about microtransactions for a minute here, because this is becoming an increasingly hot button issue here in 2017, and with all of the games that have come out this year so far, where loot boxes have kind of been at the center of controversy, I have to say that Star Wars Battlefront 2's implementation of loot boxes is the most egregious by far, because their loot box system, even with the changes that they've made recently, and they did make changes based off of the beta, they pulled out basically the highest tier of star cards. They took those out of the loot boxes so that anyone could basically unlock them. So they made a couple of alterations, but it's still a completely fucked system that has the loot boxes directly tied to the progression system, which is just awful. And I'll be upfront and honest that I was not a fan of the last Battlefront game. I don't really like this Battlefront's game multiplayer, but I love the original Battlefronts. Like the original Battlefront 1 and 2, fantastic games. Love them. Put hundreds of hours into each of those titles. But what EA is doing with Star Wars Battlefront now is just, I don't think it's good. Even though a lot of the community has collectively come out and said this game is way better than the last one, as far as gameplay is concerned, they've done a completely messed up thing as far as the microtransactions are concerned, tying it into the progression system of the game and the unlocks and all of that, and giving players an objective advantage if you decide to go out and buy their form of loot boxes. Now, other games have done this right. Overwatch comes to mind, Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege doesn't even have a way to buy their loot boxes, or alpha packs as they call them. You cannot buy those with real currency in any way whatsoever. There is no way to purchase their alpha packs with actual dollars or Great British pounds or whatever your country's currency happens to be. Overwatch, they do allow you to buy loot boxes, which makes it a completely random gambling system, but it's cosmetic, and I don't have an issue with that. I really don't take any issue with these games that do it for cosmetic items like Rainbow Six Siege or Overwatch. Even if they are taking money, it's not really that big of a deal to me if it's cosmetic, because it doesn't affect the gameplay. It doesn't allow someone to go out and spend money on loot boxes and unlock items that will give them an advantage over a player that doesn't buy loot boxes and are encouraged to either A, grind. They either have to completely grind out and play dozens and dozens of hours to unlock the same exact items that someone else could conceivably unlock by just spending some money. So it is a completely messed up system that EA is kind of taking advantage here of in this title, and like, oh yeah, you're giving us free maps after the game comes out, but you're totally bending us over when it comes to the progression system of the game. And they still haven't fixed the issue of the progression as far as being skill-based. Like, if you play a match and you're on the winning team, it doesn't matter if you're in first place or last place, you all get the same amount of XP and credits or whatever. You all get the same thing, which is so stupid. Like, what is the point of being good at the game? Why wouldn't I just join a match and sit at the back and do nothing and just do the minimal amount of activity to not be kicked for playing idle? Like, what is stopping anyone from doing that? Because they're going to get the same amount of XP from some guy that's out there, you know, with his fucking hero and completely owning the enemy team and winning the game for his team, and he's going to get the same XP as the guy in last place. So what is the incentive there? And EA has come forward, and they've made a couple of statements over on some of the subreddits. And one of the subreddits, honestly, they have, on the Star Wars Battlefront subreddit, they have what is now the most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
You serious?
Like, by a lot. Like, not even by a little. By a whole lot. So the original post over on the Star Wars Battlefront subreddit, which has 55,000 upvotes, basically all the guy said is, seriously, I paid $80 to have Vader unlocked. Have Vader locked, I should say. So what he's trying to say is he bought like the deluxe edition of the game. He paid $80, and the hero that he wants more than anything, Darth Vader, is locked behind this ridiculous Battlefront 2 progression / paywall that EA have implemented to completely fucking fleece gamers out of every goddamn cent in their pocket. And EA actually came forward, their community team made a reply to this, which at the time of me recording this has negative 327,000 points. That is a fuck ton of negative karma. Like, are you kidding me? Negative 327,000 karma. I have never seen this. And it's also been gilded 18 times, by the way, which I find rather amusing. Just out of curiosity, I went and Googled around to find out what was the most downvoted comment before this. And just a month ago, there was an updated post about the most downvoted comment. And the most downvoted one was negative 24,333. 24,333. That is a lot less than 327,000 for anyone that's keeping track, by the way. It's exactly 303,000 less than 327,000. So to say that people are upset about this would be a severe understatement. So what was EA's response to this loyal customer who paid $80 for Star Wars Battlefront 2 only to have Vader locked behind this ridiculous progression paywall, which other people are saying it takes about 40 hours to unlock a single hero in the game, which is a serious amount of grinding? EA's response is, the intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost, we selected initial values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course, attainable via gameplay. We appreciate candid feedback and the passion the community has put forth around the current topics here on Reddit, our forums, and across numerous social media outlets. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback and update everyone as soon and as often as we can. So EA is basically coming forth and putting their big old fat PR spin on this whole thing, pretty much admitting to nothing, denying everything, and just saying, you know what, we're just going to keep monitoring stuff and make changes as time goes on. But this doesn't solve the problem. Like, you saying this doesn't solve anything. It's just saying that you're going to continue to make money off of people for your progression system, which is going to make people either have to grind or cough up more money for your early access AAA $60 fucking game, which is just bending people over. It's so ridiculous that EA is getting away with this, and so many people are going to go out and still buy this game and throw money at the microtransactions, where honestly the biggest target for microtransactions, I feel it's kids, honestly. Like, and with kids, this stuff is never going to get across to them. Like, they're not going to care. In my experience, kids not only will support microtransactions, but they're excited by them. In the past, I've lived with, my family where I had a younger brother around ages of 10 to 13, and I now currently live with my girlfriend, and her son is 12 years old, and both of those kids, I've witnessed them spending money on microtransactions and stupid in-game shit like this, and actually being excited for it. Like, they're totally amped up, like, oh my god, microtransactions, this is great, I'm going to spend so much money on this. I've seen my girlfriend's kid beg his mom for money so that he could buy fucking shark cards on GTA 5, and like $6 he wanted to get a PSN card so he could spend $6 on a fucking wallpaper for his PlayStation 4. It's kids that are being marketed with this, and they'll never admit that, of course, but that is who is being targeted with these types of microtransactions, because adults like you and me are able to see through this shit, and they're going to either buy the game or they're not, and when they do buy the game, you're probably just going to enjoy it for what it is, except for, you know, those few people out there that are probably going to buy some microtransactions anyway. But it's really kids that are kind of the victims at the end of all of this, as they are the ones that are going to be the driving force for microtransactions, because they're the ones that are going to beg their parents for extra money for what the parents probably don't even know what it is for. They're going to say, oh, I just want a PSN card, or I just want this card or that card or whatever, or I just want $20 for Star Wars Battlefront 2 so I can get something in the game. They don't realize that they're spending in some cases, $5, $10, $20, whatever, on just a cosmetic item in some other games. I mean, I know that's not really the case with Battlefront 2, at least right now anyway. You're not going to be able to spend money on just like a skin in the game. This is really tied to the actual progression system in the game, which is going to affect gameplay, which is what makes it so bad. Like, why can't you just be like Overwatch and have loot boxes that affect the cosmetics, which is fine. Not the actual gameplay, where someone will have a worse experience compared to the person that is willing to spend money. So I really don't have anything else to add on the Battlefront 2 loot box system. I just think it's horrible, and I don't think anyone should go out there and support them and give them money. I was able to play it on EA's Origin Access program, which is actually a very good program. It's $5 a month, and I get early access to games, and I get, you know, the EA Vault with a lot of games on there. So it's actually a pretty good program. But as far as paying $60 for this game, like, I'm sorry, EA, but you ain't getting my money. You're not getting a single dollar more from me besides what I get for my Origin Access program, and even that is questionable at this point because I just don't want to support you anymore as a publisher. Because you're dicks. You're just dicks who don't care about anything except your bottom line and your shareholders. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, guys. Please let me know your thoughts on the Battlefront 2 microtransactions. What could EA do to really kind of climb themselves out of this hole and deliver a good experience with what a lot of people are agreeing is a big improvement gameplay-wise over the last Battlefront game. But with the microtransactions, it makes this game complete bullshit. Like, if this was a free-to-play game, it would be one thing. But it's not a free-to-play game. They want $60+ for this game, depending on the version that you get. And then microtransactions built into it for the fucking progression system, which I've never seen anything quite like it before, honestly, and I really hope to fuck that we never do see it again, because it's awful. So I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Leave a like on it down below. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of content here on the channel. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ta-ra.